Let me tell you, if you'd asked me a year ago whether I'd ever find myself sprinting through Westfield Mall, praying for a miracle while my daughter was turning blue in front of a crowd of strangers, I'd have laughed you out of the room, and yet, there I was, heels clacking on the marble, squeezing Mia's little hand as if I could anchor her to this world just by holding on tight enough. Summer outside, I see air inside. That typical American suburban comfort, then suddenly, her breath caught, panic stamped all over her tiny face, and my CEO brain, the one that was so good at solving every problem, went totally blank. No inhaler. Not in my purse, not in my hand, not anywhere. You know that feeling, right? That moment you realize all the money and power you've built up can't buy your child one good breath. I dropped everything: pride, shopping bags, you name it, scream for help, and for a second, I swear time actually stopped. That's when he showed up. Daniel Reed, mall security, navy uniform a size too big, running toward us with a look that said he'd seen this before and was never going to get used to it. He didn't ask questions, just knelt right down, produced an emergency inhaler like some kind of quiet magician, and got Mia breathing again. The relief hit so hard I nearly sobbed, but I couldn't, not in front of all those eyes, not when I was supposed to be the woman who had it together. I didn't know anything about Daniel then. Didn't know he used to be Dr. Reed, hotshot pediatric ER, journal articles, and a whole wall of diplomas. Didn't know his whole world had flipped 5 years ago. Divorce papers dropped in the mailbox. Ex-wife leaving for a guy who never missed a birthday, never put saving strangers ahead of dinner. Daniel had chosen to keep his daughter, Sophie, and let go of his career, trading the adrenaline of the ER for a steady paycheck and enough time to be the parent he wished he'd had. I tried to thank him the way people like me are taught to thank people, reaching for my wallet, offering a neat solution. He stopped me with a look, said, "I have a daughter with asthma too. I always carry a spare." There was something about the way he said it, like maybe he'd learned the hard way what it meant to forget or to be forgotten. I pulled myself together, introduced myself, threw out a business card, and we parted ways. I figured I'd never see him again. But life's weird, you know? 2 weeks later, Mia's tugging at my sleeve in the food court, begging me to come say hi to Mr. Reed. This time he gets a glittery card, her idea, not mine. I promise, complete with a superhero inhaler drawn on the front. He smiles, actually smiles, and for a moment I see a flash of who he might have been or could still be. We invite him for ice cream, and he says yes, and I wonder if maybe, just maybe, there's a reason our paths crossed. Those ice cream afternoons become a thing. Mia asks about his daughter, he asks about Mia's school, and I find myself looking forward to weekends at the mall in a way I haven't looked forward to anything since my ex walked out. Turns out, Daniel's not just good with emergencies, good with people. Not the kind of good you can fake, but the kind that makes you feel seen. When Mia has another mild attack, he's there before I even finish panicking, talking her through it, never once making me feel stupid or small. One day, curiosity gets the better of me, and I finally ask, "So how does a guy like you know so much about asthma?" He hesitates, then tells me about his old life as a pediatric ER doc. I can see the weight of it on him, the sacrifice, the regret, the stubborn pride. He doesn't volunteer the details, but I get it. I'm living my own version of that story, holding onto a career with one hand and trying not to drop the ball as a single mom with the other. Everything shifts at the Meridian Charity Gala. I'm in my element, speaking to a crowd, raising money for pediatric health, feeling like maybe I'm making a difference, after all. But then a server drops a tray, and a child starts gasping for air. Daniel's daughter, Sophie. Before I can even process, he's there, inhaler ready, the whole room fading out as he saves her. When it's over, the event coordinator leans in and says, "That's Dr. Reed, you know, used to be one of the best. His research could have changed the game for kids like this." Suddenly it clicks. His proposal crossed my desk 3 years ago. I rejected it, said it didn't make business sense. Cancer research looked better in the press. Now here I am, face to face with the consequences of a decision I barely remember making. Afterwards, in the garden outside the hotel, Daniel and I finally have the conversation we've both been avoiding. He asks if it would have mattered, knowing it was him. I tell him the truth, probably not. Business decisions aren't personal except, of course they are. They change lives, even if you never see the ripples. I want to defend myself, but I can't. Not really. The next few weeks, we avoid each other. Mia keeps asking for her inhaler hero. I give her vague answers. But her words haunt me. Everyone needs help breathing sometimes. One night, Mia has her worst attack yet. I'm on autopilot, racing to the ER, but my hands turn the wheel toward Daniel's apartment instead. I'm desperate. He doesn't hesitate, just lets us in, sets up a nebulizer, gets Mia breathing again. No lectures, no judgment, just help. When Mia is finally sleeping, I thank him, and then, before I know it, I'm confessing about his research, about the way my choices look from the top floor, and how hollow it all feels now. He tells me leaving medicine wasn't just about losing funding. It was everything: the divorce, Sophie's illness, realizing he couldn't be everywhere at once. He chose his daughter over his ambition, and part of him still wonders if it was the right call. Do you ever regret it? I ask. He doesn't answer. Sophie comes in, pajama-clad, asking if Mia will be okay. It's a moment so tender, so honest, it guts me. After that night, everything's different. I pull out Daniel's research, dig deep, talk to my R&D team. This time, I'm not looking for profit, I'm looking for impact. I revise my old memo, pitch it to the board as a project that matters. When I send Daniel the new proposal, he's skeptical, but Sophie's the one who pushes him. You smiled more when you talked about helping kids breathe, she says. At the board meeting, he's back in his old suit, talking science and hope in a way that makes even the most cynical executive pay attention. We get unanimous approval. Something bigger than either of us has shifted. Afterwards, I ask why he's agreeing to come back. He just says, because it's the right thing to do. I realize then that, for all my power, what I've been craving isn't control, it's purpose. 6 months later, the Breathe Easy Clinic opens downtown. Daniel's the director 3 days a week, still pulling security shifts to be home with Sophie. I'm scaling back too, letting go of some control, learning to be present for Mia in a way I never was before. The clinic walls are lined with crayon drawings, lungs with smiley faces, superhero inhalers, kids running under blue skies. Our girls are there, laughing, breathing easy, best friends in a world we never could have built alone. Sometimes we all go to the park together, there are no labels, no hierarchy, just two families tangled up by circumstance, learning to forgive, learning what it means to really breathe. Do you regret it? I asked Daniel once, watching our daughters feed ducks at the pond. He thinks about it. Only that I ever thought I had to choose one life over the other. And I get it, maybe for the first time. Sometimes the biggest changes start with the smallest breath. So here's my question for you. Have you ever made a choice that changed everything, only to realize what really matters was never what you thought? Let's talk about it. Do you think justice is about the bottom line or about the lives we touch without even knowing it? Drop your thoughts below. Someone else out there might need to hear them as much as I did.